I don't know how to break it to you guys, but the movie Gremlins is a Christmas movie that has been lying to us for years. These freaky little monsters are not gremlins at all. The idea of gremlins was a concept first used in the 1920s as a way for pilots to explain away mechanical issues with their planes. You know, it couldn't be that a manufacturer was bad at engineering. It had to be that tiny little monsters were ripping apart their gears. Man, people will do anything to avoid the blame for their own sloppy work. Now, it does seem like the description could fit the green baddies in the Gremlins movies, because they do seem to have an affinity towards tech. But, according to the Gremlins wiki page, mogwai are a type of Chinese goblin. Contrary to gremlins, goblins can be evil or they can just behave like petulant children. They have crooked yellow teeth, raspy voices, and can be turned to stone in sunlight. Goblins are known to be very smart, and they're often seen as green and smaller than a human, but taller than a dwarf. That's a really odd size chart, but comparatively, I imagine that a gremlin can only be a few inches tall. Otherwise, you'd notice them going into the plane engines. So, by all descriptions, the movie Gremlins is representing goblins. Next, I looked into the word mogwai in Chinese, which is spelled and pronounced a little bit differently. Instead of mogwai like the movie uses, the Chinese actually use mogui, which instead of mogwai, it said more like mogwai. Apparently, they have a different take on the term as well. Chinese folklore doesn't have goblins in the same sense that Western cultures do. In China, mogwai roughly refers to a reincarnated spirit that has bad intentions. So someone who led a bad life or who was severely wronged could come back as a mogwai and wreak havoc. That's really interesting because there's a moment towards the end of the film where the old Chinese man comes to reclaim Gizmo, and Gizmo calls out, "Baba!" Now, I'm pretty sure most viewers in the 80s found that to be mogwai chatter, but notice how the old man and Gizmo have a back and forth conversation in Mandarin? I mean, Gizmo has shown that he has no problem understanding English, so why wouldn't he also know a Chinese language since he's from that culture? Do you know what Baba means in Mandarin? It's the word for father. And even though Billy has taken care of Gizmo, Billy is never referred to as Daddy. The old man didn't refuse to sell Gizmo because he was a dangerous monster. He wouldn't sell Gizmo because he's the reincarnation of his own son. I wish I could have translated the rest of their conversation in Mandarin, but alas, my Mandarin is severely limited, and Google Translate won't work when you have an English conversation going on over top of a Mandarin one. If Billy and his family could have just shut their traps for a couple of seconds, I could know so much more about this topic. But if you happen to be fluent in Mandarin and you have access to the movie Gremlins and you can translate that bit for me, I would love to know what Gizmo and the old man are saying to each other. But in a nutshell, the movie Gremlins is actually showing you goblins. And poor little Gizmo was once the human son of the old Chinese man. Now, what happened to make Gizmo this way is beyond what I can find out through the movie franchise. Similarly, I can't figure out why Gizmo is so nice when most mogwai are characterized as being evil creatures. I suppose those are all going to be theories for another day. Thanks for watching this video, and if you liked it, I hope you'll like, subscribe, and check out what other videos are on my channel. Please definitely subscribe though, so that way you'll be notified when I make new videos. And if you really want to help me out, please share this video with people that you think would enjoy watching it. Thanks again!